Okay.
Ja.
BasketsTalk mit Jimmy McKinney. Wir haben uns darauf geeinigt, wir machen es nicht auf Deutsch. We're not gonna do it in German, as we discussed. We got couple topics we gotta talk about. And to just get right started, we gotta talk about that Munich game. How much fun was that? How much fun was it for you guys?
It was a real big win for us, and it was very fun, you know, because it was a team effort. Everyone pitched in, everyone, you know, had a stamp on the game, and you know, it was definitely a team effort. We came out ready, we came out to play, and we came out with the victory.
Something that crossed my mind right from the get-go was that you guys started with a lineup all BBL vets, or at least guys that played in the league 1 year.
Yeah.
So everybody, whether it's like Aaron, who's a rookie in Europe, or somebody who's new to the league, like Rodney, or even Xavier, all those guys came off the bench. Was that something you guys talked about prior to that game, or?
No. I think I mean, that was a totally coach's decision. We didn't talk about it at all, but I want to say that really, you know, our bench stepped it up. You know, I think the starters started off kind of slow, but sitting on the bench, and I guess the guys sitting on the bench and seeing what they could do and how can they contribute, and they came in right in and came in the game and put their own stamp on the game and gave the starters a big lift. So, but it was also a great game plan from coach too.
How important is it that you have guys like you yourself? I mean, this is your 10th year in the league now, that you have guys on the roster that already know the league, and that you have, so to speak, the luxury of, you know, let those guys sit on the bench for a couple minutes, let them see how this game works, how this opponent, whether it's Munich or Weizenfels or whoever it may be, just let them figure out how how the flow of the game is.
Yeah, it's always good to, you know, see how the flow of the game is going coming from the bench. But any other guys that's on the bench, they can come in and start, and guys that's, you know, starting could come off the bench. You know, so that's the type of team rotation we have. We have a very deep rotation right now, and it's really, our chemistry really getting bigger and bigger. So we got to keep that going.
Yeah. So how do you feel right now as far as finding your role on the roster? I mean, we're gonna touch that subject later, that you came in extremely late in training camp, but do you still try to find your spot, or do you say, hey, I can do numerous things and I'll let the game come to me?
Yeah, for sure. I just try to just let the game come to me. You know, when you gotta, Gino is a great point guard. He gonna find you, so I just got to make sure, you know, I'm ready and knock down shots and try to play hard on the defensive end, and, you know, just keep it simple. If you just keep it simple, I've been, like you said, I've been in this league for 10 years, so, you know, I know what to expect, and I just keep it simple and just try to do what I can do, and don't go outside the box.
Talk about aging and adapting to the game. I mean, you came into the league, as we said, 9-10 years ago, as a young kid, so to speak, young puppy, now being an elder statesman. How did your game change over all those years, especially when we talk about the last, let's say, 3, 4, maybe 5 years?
It's definitely slower. It's definitely slower. So I have to, you know, really try to, you know, outthink the opponent now. I really have to, you know, really try to focus and definitely really prepare my body for the games, and I got to do a lot of preparation.
Talk about that on detail. How much preparation and what exactly do you?
Well, you know, I pre-game. I do my core work before. I even go out to the floor and shoot. You know, the guys say I wipe a lot of cream on my knees, and you know, no, but I stretch way more than I ever stretched in my life. I think that's very important, but, you know, it's more mental now. I think it's definitely, the game is more mental for me than anything.
But the shots are still the same. I mean, going up, taking pull-up jumpers off the dribble in transition, that's still your game.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, I still have that, but far as doing other things like that I used to do, like getting to the basket or even dunking the ball and stuff like that. But it's just the quickness, and also on the defensive end when you guarding, guys that's quicker than you, you have to be smart as well.
So who would you say was the toughest matchup versus Munich for you personally? I mean, those perimeter guys they are so. I mean, you can go from name to name to name, but who would you say was the toughest one?
I think they got. I think pretty much everyone. Munich got a real good deep team. Yeah. Playing Gabriel over the years, he's always a tough matchup because he's smart. And they two-man. So I just think all of them. They're a real good team. They're a really good team. Just fortunately, I was just fortunate that I was part of this team that went to Munich and beat them.
Yeah. Take us, and that's the last point for the Munich game. Yeah. Take us through those last 5 minutes of the game. Dirk hits the three.
Right.
And after that, we don't score a single field goal field goal for 4.5 minutes until Gino hits the big three from around about 8 meters or so. Yeah. Has there been any doubt that things might turn around for Munich?
I just thought that we just stayed in the moment. We stayed in the moment and we stayed focused on our game plan. We was getting good shots. They just wasn't falling. But we also just tried to I want to say it was probably a little luck there because the point guard missed a layup. But I mean, it happens. It happens sometimes in the game. But we stayed with it, and Gino made the big shot and secured the game.
And to me, for the whole game, it looked like this was coming. There was some Gino moment. Yeah. It was definitely coming because I mean he was so focused on getting everybody involved, on making everybody feel good. Yeah. But on the flip side, his field goal percentage went downwards. Yeah. So for me it felt like something's coming for him. I don't know what it will be like, but that's Gino.
Just by playing with him for the time that I've been here, I could tell the type of player he is. Yeah. And the type of player that I see is that he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of the moment, and he want to take that big shot, and he's not scared to take that big shot or make that big play. Yeah. So I can tell that from just by being the few weeks that I've been here that he's not afraid of that moment. And you need a point guard, and that's what make a team. A team and be successful is when you have that point guard that's not afraid of that moment, that can step up and make a play in a big moment. That's how you be successful as a team.
He never ran, never will, as he says. What do you guys take away from that game that has to carry over for the next games ahead of us? Come Oldenburg, then it's Bremerhaven on the weekend, and even next week with Bilbao.
What I think is that basically how we executed throughout the whole game. We had some mistakes. I'm talking about defense and offense. We had some mistakes on both ends, but throughout the whole game, I think we executed the game plan very well. And coach came in with a great game plan, and we went out and played. But we stick, and also I think that what we have to do is just keep playing and staying within the moment of the game. If either we down or if we up, we just got to stay in the moment and keep on playing.
Question is, how much or how well will you be able to stay in the game and stay in the moment come game time versus Oldenburg facing your old pal Rickey Paulding? How much fun will that be?
Oh man, I mean he's been in this league for a long time too. So I've been.
So what's your record? 1-1.
Oh, no? I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'm pretty good.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty good. I'm not sure. But we did play them in the playoffs first round years before, and they won that round. So I don't know, but he's a man. I love him to death, man. Like I always used to be, you know, the guy that looked up to him in college as a college teammate. I used to tell him all the time, and you know, I still do. You know, I still do because, you know, the things that he does with, you know, his kids and his family, and then also still play basketball at a high level. You know, and a great guy though. He's a really, really great guy. So, all big ups to Rick.
Yeah. For those who didn't know, and the topic you already mentioned, you guys played together at the University of Missouri.
Yeah.
So when you see him play these days, and when you see yourself play these days, what are the things you could say, or you would say, yep, that's the Rickey Paulding of old, or from back, you know, from the college days, that's something that he already had in his game back then, and that's something I had in my game back then as well.
Well, I don't have it anymore, but obviously, I think the last game he still has it, the athleticism when he went up on a fast break and dunked it with his left hand. But I mean, it was so many great moments that he had. You know, I remember me and him on a fast break in Kansas State, and a guy tried to take a charge, and he just jumped right over him and dunked it right over man one. You know, it was. I mean, I remember moments where he dunked on a whole Texas University team. You know, so I just remember it's so many moments that he had that I always think about, or even when I go home at in the summertime, I watch our old tapes or something like that. So, I mean, it's a lot.
So talk about Jason Conley for a second, who's been with you guys as well, former Bonn player. Yeah. Are you guys still in touch?
Yeah, you know, we Facebook here and there. We're not as in touch as like we should, but man, he had some great moments as well up at the University of Missouri. So, but also, you know, I played against him here. He was in Bonn when I was in Frankfurt. You know, it's been a lot of Mizzou players come through Germany, huh?
Yeah, good guys, for sure. And we had Kyle Williams as well, but he didn't go to the University of Missouri. I think it was Mizzou State or so, I guess. Yeah. But still the same state. Yeah. Talking about records, and you already touched the subject. What do you think your overall record is playing Bonn? Whether it's with Frankfurt, Tübingen, or Würzburg?
I know one thing.
Yeah, you whooped our ass. Explicit. Well, you whooped our ass in the cup game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but I also remember two crucial situations. It was one, I can't remember what year it was, but it was Game 5 in Frankfurt. Yeah. I forgot the point guard name, but the point guard, he had just had a baby, and he
was it Deshaun? No, it wasn't. Was it our point guard?
Yeah.
Our point guard that was Let me think for a second, but I get the name.
Yeah. So, Game 5 in Frankfurt, he hits a big shot over me, but Pascal Rolle had the chance to win a game to send it and send us back to the finals. Yeah. And we missed it, and then you guys went to the finals. Then there was another situation was.
I think it was E.J. Rowland.
No, not E.J.
Was Maya Davis.
Yeah, Maya Davis. Yeah. And another situation was that we was in last place. Frankfurt was in last place all the way up to December. Yeah. Then we turned it around, and then we had whoever wins goes to the playoffs.
That was 2012. Yes. Last game in our building.
In our building. And we lost.
By almost 20.
Yes.
Almost 20. To be exact, 81-62.
Yeah. And
April 28, 2012.
And two situations that are really periods that I really stick out in my head.
Overall record, your former teams versus Bonn 6-13. With you being in the lineup because you've been injured a couple times, and with Tübingen last year for the first game, you haven't been on that squad yet. 5-10.
5 to 10.
So not that good. So what makes it? I mean, you've been our opponent for 9 straight years.
Sure, yeah.
Now being on our side,
Yeah.
what makes it so tough to play Bonn, and especially to come into this building and win here?
Right. Oh, it's definitely hard to come in this building to win. It's definitely, you have the crowd that's probably one of the best, crowds in the BBL. But I mean, the coaching and the players that you guys pick. It seems like it always have just the chemistry here. It's just always, the chemistry is always just high. And it seemed like you guys, it seemed like, well, back then I say you guys, but it seemed like that they always played together. And they always had that, camaraderie that, that it was always, we the same, we one team. And it was tough, it was definitely tough. You always, Bonn always been one of them, one of the top teams in the BBL. So it was, but it was always fun too, though. It was always fun.
But you've been on a couple of good teams as well.
Yeah.
Talk about that finals run in 2010.
Oh,
I mean, this miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I don't know,
Yeah, it was,
one run for the ages.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
Just going through the situation and that we was in. Actually, we had to, I think, win 2 out of 4 to even make the playoffs.
Okay.
That year, we had to win 2 out of 4. We had a great team though. We had probably one of the best teams in the BBL, top to bottom. And we I think we went to, I'm not sure, Gießen. We won in Gießen. We won somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then we went to Berlin. I think first round of Berlin.
Yeah. And that was the year where 1, 2, 3, and 4 Bonn being the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Everybody dropped out of the first round of playoffs.
Yep. And we went to Berlin and we beat Berlin. First game.
Yeah.
Beat Berlin. And then after that round, we won that round. Then we beat Bremerhaven, game 5. Then we had Bamberg. Went up to Bamberg, beat Bamberg first game. Bamberg came to Frankfurt, beat us.
It was the year where everybody won on the opponent's floor, right? Except for the last game.
I think so. But I knew one game. I think the third game. Bamberg beat us by 55.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went back to Frankfurt. We beat them. Then game 5, we lost. In game 5, I don't want to say how we lost, but we missed some free throws. And,
Those were the Pascal Rolle free throws, right?
Yeah. And the self free throws, and Gavel got loosed on a 3-pointer and tied up, and man, that was a heartbreaking moment though.
Yeah.
That was really.
Did you ever feel like, whether it's individually or collectively as a group back then, that you guys, let one slip away?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or would you say that maybe it shouldn't happen because maybe Bamberg was the better team? I don't know. How did you guys feel?
No, I honestly, I don't think Bamberg was the better team that year. I honestly thought that we was the better team. We was definitely from top to bottom, like, the better team. We had at least about 12 guys that really played. But I definitely thought that, for sure, that, don't take anything away from Bamberg, but I really thought that we definitely let that slip away.
Yeah.
Just off free throws and that stuff.
So what happened afterwards, after that finals run? What changed for you guys in Frankfurt? I think Derek went to Berlin.
Right. Derek went
back to the finals with Berlin. Lost game 5 again versus Bamberg.
Yep.
And you lost a couple other key pieces.
Yeah, we did, but I think we definitely still made the playoffs. Mm. And like I said, I think it was that year that we lost to you guys in the playoffs. Yeah. Well,
no, it wasn't.
No, it was before then.
It was before then. It was earlier.
But we definitely went to the playoffs. My last year, you guys knocked out, gave us our playoff dreams, took them away. So, It's always been Bonn, man. Bonn always been in a way.
So what a coincidence that you're,
You can't beat him, you have to join him.
Yeah. Was that your thought process when you got the call that there's an offer on the table?
For sure, I couldn't pass this up. This all I heard was, this one of the greatest situations that you could be in. And once I heard this, even though I have a small contract, but I was like, man, I'm just going to play and whatever. But I just have to go and see what it is. So
talk about that process of sitting, waiting, maybe wishing for something to happen over the course of the summer.
Yeah.
Did you get the call from our side directly? Was it Michael Wichterich who called you? Was it through your agent, or how did all this come along with, you finally coming over?
Yeah. Well, my agent called me and was like, I might have a situation with you in Bonn. I said, really? And he told me the situation, and I was like, man, I'm ready. I'm down for it. Whatever.
Mentally ready or bodily ready?
I was mentally ready.
Yeah.
I was definitely mentally ready. I wasn't too far away. I wasn't too far away. And now the thing is like, as you get older, you want to stay, you keep your weight down but you got to just be mentally ready, because your body can only do so much, but if the mental part is what's going to get you over.
I was totally surprised when they told me, hey, you got to write something about Jimmy. What Jimmy? And McKinney was like, say what? He's still available? What the heck? Yeah, I'm down to it. Everybody was so excited. I got, as I told you numerous times, I received calls from Frankfurt, from Thomas Navrat. He said, hey, guys, what a great piece for you guys. You fit in right away. And so far you did, averaging around about 10 points per game, 3.3 rebounds. Talk about, and we touched that subject a little bit earlier, about coming into a more or less running system during preseason, and how do you handle the situation of knowing, yep, I got a short-term contract over here? Is that something you think about, or is something that you say, hey, I don't want to think about it as much as possible?
For sure, it goes hand in hand. For sure that it's in the back of your mind, but you definitely think about it. So you definitely try not to go and like, I gotta have a good game, or I gotta please the coach, or I gotta please the organization, But in the same sense that I fight that and say, man, just play basketball. You know how to play basketball. Just play basketball. Be yourself. But in reality, you're going to have that. You're going to have that in the back of your mind. You're going to have that. That you got to play. You got to play hard. You got to show. The fans that you're capable of. Being a key person to this organization, to this team. But like I said, in the same sense that you also have to just say, just go out there and play. Whatever happens. It's out of your control. But if you just go out there and just play, you can pat yourself on the back at the end.
Have there been certain situations, maybe post-game, where you'd say, yeah, there was a Jimmy McKinney moment, there was being me out there, or that wasn't me being out there?
Yeah. Well, at this point in my career, man, I just try to do, stick and do what I can do and stay within myself. Not try to be outside the box, or just whatever it takes, and don't hurt the team, or or whatever it is to help the team. But at this point in my career, I just stick to the strip. Get my open shots. When my open shots come, I take them with no hesitation, or just trying to get the big guys involved and play defense the best way I can. And so I really just stick to the strip.
I can tell you, from sitting down there and watching you play versus Weissenfels, I had a blank, honest, true Jimmy McKinney moment when you had that mid-range jumper.
Yeah.
And I think it was right away the next possession we had. You had the ball in your hands, dribble, in transition, pull up three. And I was like, yep, that's a Jimmy McKinney moment. I mean, this was just like, and I talked to Thomas Navar, I already mentioned, I talked to him on the phone, I think a day or maybe two later, and I was like, I think he's still in shape. He's still in shape, and he was like, that's his game. That's something he's always done.
Yeah.
And it feels like right away when you hit that mid-range J, it was so obvious that if the ball's in your hands, the next time you're gonna let it fly. You know, whatever happens, whoever's in your face.
Yeah. So I mean, it just, like I said, you know, that's my game. So I just stick to it. I just stick to what I know. Just stick to what I know. I try not to do anything outside the box. I try to limit my mistakes, even though you're gonna have mistakes. But I just try to limit them.
Try to be perfect in an imperfect game. Yeah,
exactly.
Can't do that.
Exactly. So
for the last 5 minutes, because we were taping this right before practice, we got to talk about movies.
Yeah.
When you came in, we asked you 10 quick questions, either or. It was Kazam or Streetballers. You said Streetballers. Why?
Oh.
Why? Why did you say Streetballers? Why did you took Streetballers over Kazam?
You don't know about Streetballers?
Yes, I do a little bit.
Okay.
But maybe the audience doesn't know. So, give me a short summary of what Streetballers is all about.
Okay. Streetballers is about two inner city kids that's growing up playing basketball, something that they love to do, but they have all these distractions outside of them. So basically, it's showing you that different races are going through the same thing, you know, in the same community, basically, but their outlet is basketball. Yeah. So and one of the characters named Jacob Whitmore is Jimmy McKinney.
How came that you had one of the leading roles in that movie?
Well, it was kind of weird because
I know somebody who knows somebody who knew somebody.
Well, actually, it wasn't really like that. Okay. I was playing pickup ball, which we do all the time in St. Louis, my hometown, and a guy came up to me, was like, "Hey, have you ever been in a movie?" And I was like, "No." Okay. And he was like, "You want to be in a movie?" And I was like, "Man, quit playing." So actually, he showed me a strip, and he asked me to, read something off the strip, and I did. And then he asked me to come to auditions, and I came to auditions. I was so nervous the first time, and they told me to just, calm down and come back the next day. And then I went home and, they gave me, a strip to read and, and prepare for the next day. Yeah. And I did. I came back the next day, knocked it out the park, and got the role.
How many similarities are there between that young Mr. Whitmore and that nowadays aged Jimmy McKinney?
Well, then that young Jacob was Jimmy McKinney. Okay. So
was it the case that they created that character around your person, or was it something
I just think that
it just fit.
Yeah. Okay. I just think that wasn't just me. I think that was basically every inner city kid that lives in the inner city. In the city, it goes on. It's an everyday life. It goes on. You could just walk outside and you see, kids at the park playing. That's living the same life that Jacob was. That was barely making it, but he had an outlet. His outlet was basketball. Killing and shooting and stuff like that. But it's to get away from all that. It was basketball.
How long did it take you as an actor and the whole crew to make that movie happen? I think it was in 2009, right? In summer of 2009,
no.
Or was it recorded in 2008 and was? aired in 2009.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was recorded. Actually, it was recorded in 2007 in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they did all my parts because that's when I had to report over to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So they did all my parts, and and they did all my parts, and I just reported over to Frankfurt.
Yeah. Very last question, because I gotta let you go
Okay.
for practice. What did you learn about yourself being an actor, being in a totally different environment? Not that's, I mean, somewhat connected to basketball, but just it's a different topic. It's the movie business.
Right. I think that being an actor is I take my hats off to the people, the actresses and the actors.
Yeah.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job, but I think doing a little ad lib and being in the character that I think it's much easier. But doing someone else is definitely tough.
Yeah.
But I think it was much easier for me because I was, playing a role that I was very, very familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's what made it so much easier for me. And it was also, real easy because I was doing something that, I'm really comfortable with, which is basketball.
Hope we can touch on that someday later when we got more time.
Okay.
Jimmy, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And go off to practice.
All right.
Merci. See you.